and welcome to a show Sunday, which is my show, and it's been a long while since I actually got to pick something. My pick for this month was actually a vote from all of us, which is WandaVision, which it's been a long while since we saw anything Marvel, and this did not disappoint.
Well, it's also something that's actually,
It's
currently
actually
airing
running right now.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah,
completely caught up.
Yep, we've completely caught up, and that's the reason why we all voted for this. We were like, okay, this is perfect. And so as of right now, everything we're saying is speculation. If you have not watched WandaVision, you probably should, because I don't know what we can say in this that's not a spoiler.
It's good.
Yeah, everything is a spoiler. If you want to watch, get out now. Bye.
It's good. I'll say it's good, and you should watch it.
Yeah, definitely good. Definitely very interesting. And if you also just are like me and have watched like older sitcoms and stuff like that, you'll have also a fun time with all the references and Easter eggs and stuff like that. So go watch. Be free, because I don't think there's any way to keep this spoiler free.
You've been warned many times. Now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about slightly less spoilery stuff first.
Slightly less. Oh, I guess going off of what I just said. So each episode, except for the fourth one, takes place in a different time period or era, I guess, of sitcoms.
Well, about to say, if you just stop your sentence that takes place in a different time period, then the fourth episode also technically does that too.
That's true.
That is true, but which when it showed for the first episode, I was like, oh my gosh, I recognize what they're going for here. And I was like, because me and my family watched Dick Van Dyke, and I was like, the kitchen and like the general house setup reminded me so much of like the house setup in that show. And then I looked up on Wikipedia that it also took some elements from I Love Lucy too. And then I was like, oh, that explains. Because in Dick Van Dyke, there's also a neighbor lady, and in I Love Lucy, there's also the neighbor lady. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. I don't know that much about I think the third episode it did take from the Brady Bunch, but none of us have watched the Brady Bunch, so I don't know.
No.
Except for the movie.
Ugh.
Which, yeah, we're not good at the movie. But yeah, so that's something that's not spoilery. At least I was super excited with the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, because it's interesting because I don't know if they like explicitly said this in the marketing, but it was one of those things that like seemed pretty clear, just given what Wanda could do. That like she's in some sort of reality that she's created, right?
Yeah.
And so they use that to sort of have basically like kind of screw with the whole like use of actual like narrative in a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I presume neither of you have really kind of seen something like that before, right?
Kind of.
I feel like I have seen that before, but I can't.
That's kind of the premise of Princess Tutu, but you didn't finish it.
Yeah, that is kind of the premise of Princess Tutu.
Okay.
It's not a TV though; it's something a little bit different.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, like I've seen a couple things that are sort of related to this idea of.
Oh, Escaflowne is the other one that also does this.
Oh my god.
That one was a headache for a different reason.
But this is definitely one of those things that, like, again, like, it can be really bad if it comes off as, like, really, like, over the top and, like, ham-fisted. Or the other way around, then it's, like, so, like, not obvious at all, but then they dump it on you all at once, like, oh, see, it's a great twist, when, like, there was, like, no way to know beforehand, right? So, but I have some familiarity with, again, things that use this in the sense of, like, again, like, do the characters realize that they are actual, like, characters, right? In a fictional narrative, and that kind of use of stuff like that. And so I was curious to see how this would go, of course, and I'm, I think it does it a good job so far from what we've seen. I like, of course, the first couple episodes really have sort of the overall kind of goofy tone about what's going on, but then they do have these sort of moments of like kind of creepiness and unease that happen, and so, that's definitely something that, again, within this type of narrative that I have seen in other places, this doesn't like. It follows kind of the standard beats that you would see, but it does it well, right? It's not, so you don't need to reinvent the wheel, right? So, yeah, and I don't know. This is definitely something where, like, this is absolutely something where you just want to see more of it right now.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, and this is definitely something, like I said, when we were seeing trailers and stuff for this leading up to it, I was saying, like, I have a feeling that, like, if they do this right, the emotional, like, effect of this could be, like, really good. And I wouldn't say we're there yet, just because we're not to that point in the story yet, right? Because presumably that would be sort of, like, more of a climactic kind of thing. But, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to continue watching this as more episodes come out.
Yeah, definitely. This is the first case where we're actually watching something as it airs, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember because, like, so originally what our plan was that we were going to watch 2 episodes one day and then 2 episodes the next day. And after we watched the first 2 episodes, these two were like, we want to keep going, let's watch the third one.
Not just us two.
Well, I wanted to, but I was totally like, well, we said 2, so I'm just going to keep going, but, So, but yeah, so
I think watching the first 3 a different day and then watching episode 4 today was actually a good idea, because
I think it was a better idea.
What ended up happening in episode 4?
That's true.
Yeah,
so episode 4 is
New Jersey.
Well, it takes a step back and basically is like, okay, it kind of is like, okay, what's going on, sort of from an outsider's perspective somewhat. Again, we still of course don't know everything. But it explains a few things that we saw, or heard in like earlier episodes with like the beekeeper and just kind of what happened with Geraldine, right?
Yeah.
So, that's good.
Yeah, it also explains, like, a bunch of the things, like, with the townspeople and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a couple things that, like, are, about the situation exactly that's not 100% certain how that works, which, again, we're not done yet, so it makes sense they won't explain everything yet. The one thing that I'm kind of, like, confused about, and like it's one of the things where I'm not sure if this is one of the things where I'm actually not sure if I'm meant to be confused about this now, and I realize that probably the main reason I am confused about this is because I know too much, which sounds weird, because they mentioned CMBR, and I'm just like, that's not really how that works. So I'm just like, is that just basically them trying to come up with some sort of scientific explanation for it, or is there actually a reason for that, like, this to be a thing, even though how they've set it up right now doesn't really make any sense?
I mean, I'll be honest, I thought CMBR was something made up.
No, it's a real thing. There is cosmic microwave background image radiation is a real thing, but the problem is that, like, they're saying it's, like, coming out of something and it's being emitted, and I'm like, well, the whole point of the cosmic microwave background radiation is that it literally was emitted when the universe was born. You can't, like, emit more of it. That it's not cosmic microwave background radiation anymore. So
you know too much of the science.
No, I know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, so is it just because I just know too much in that sense, or is there actually like an explanation to that confusion? I don't know. It's probably the former, honestly. Which, like, okay, fine, whatever. It's like one thing. It's probably ultimately not very important. But still, it is actually kind of interesting though, because because again, it is cosmic microwave, right? There are actual microwaves of light, which is the type of light it is. But they mentioned that there was like, there were longer wavelengths on top of that, right? And the longer wavelengths that are longer than microwaves are radio waves, which would transfer to TV signals. So that makes sense, right? So yeah, so that part of it makes sense. So I don't know. It's probably super minor, and it's, I'm not really like, the show's ruined, but just something that I was like, wait a minute.
I did look it up. Westfield, New Jersey is a real town in New Jersey.
Okay. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
I mean, they said it had a population of what, like 6,000 or something. It was like it was pretty small.
According to Wikipedia, it has a population of 30,000.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
I heard 3,000. So
Oh.
I heard 3,000 too.
Oh wait,
so.
was
maybe that's a village.
Was it West? I thought it was West View.
Oh, it's at West. Oh, oops! I put Westfield. Westfield.
Look at you doxing the wrong people. Because I looked on Google Maps, I typed in Westview, New Jersey, and I didn't get anything. So
Westview is an unincorporated community located in Ridgefield Park in Bergen County, New Jersey. It was a stop on the West Shore Railroad.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it have 3,000 people?
Kind of real.
Let me see. So it is a place.
Okay.
It doesn't have a lot of info.
Maybe that's why they picked it.
Nobody's here.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Now we know.
This is an article about the real-life location in New Jersey. For the fictional town with the same name, see WandaVision.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah. Oh, I do also like how they're bringing in like a lot of kind of minor, small characters from other stuff into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice.
Because we have the pilot from Captain Marvel, her daughter, and then the woman who was in the first two Thor movies, who is annoying, kind of annoying. She's still kind of annoying here, but she's whatever. And then I'm pretty sure the Asian guy. I think he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, actually.
Oh, was he?
I think so. I might be remembering
that.
Yeah, but it's something that, you know, it's like, okay. And again, it's like, again, the fact that, like, if you didn't know that, like, is that like, oh, you wouldn't get the story? Like, no, right? But it's still kind of a nice thing where it's like, oh, okay, there's some consistency here and stuff going on. Oh, and also just in general, I like how, you know, I'm glad that we have something that actually focuses on Wanda, because I feel like she was always a character that we just didn't really know very well.
Yeah, so it's interesting to actually have something where it's like, okay, we get to learn more about her in a way that also showcases her grief and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is
how she's dealing with trauma. It's not going super well.
And also just in general, like, there's a lot more range for acting for Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Scarlet Witch is, like, you know, fairly, at least from what we see her in the movies, is fairly kind of, like, serious a lot of the time. And so here it's a lot more of a range about, like, you know, the comedy aspect and, like, you know, actual, like, real, like, emotion happening. And that's not really in the films too much. And I'm not saying that's, like, as, like, you know, an insult to her in the films. It's just the story wasn't really about that, right? So, you know, but now we have a story about that, and now we can actually see it happening. So, yeah, I think she does a really good job with what we've seen so far. So, yeah, that works. I don't know. The humor is definitely one of those things where it's like part of the humor is the fact that it, like, kind of isn't funny. But, like, that's what makes it funny because of the setting of it. So, which, like, again, that kind of humor is, like, you really have to do it right for it to work, I feel. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think everything is really solid so far, and I think it's not, like, amazing yet, but it has potential to have, like, a really amazing, like, you know, emotional payoff going forward. That's how I kind of see it. But it is still really solid, though. Anything else? Anyone else got something?
Yeah, we can't really talk too much about it.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah. Oh, actually, one thing I did want to mention, like, from actually the beginning of the fourth episode, how they turn, like, you know, where everyone kind of comes back or whatever with the blip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool.
They filmed
really
it almost
sad.
like a horror scene, though, which is interesting. Like, it was legitimately like a tense, like, look at this, what's this, like, scary craziness going on? And it was like, because again, it's like, oh, everyone's back, yay! But it's like, in the moment, like, that would be fucking terrifying. Like, what the shit is going on?
Yeah.
So it actually
like,
captured that really well.
Half the people being like, where the heck am I? What's going on? And then you have the other half of the people being like, who are these people?
Yeah.
Who are you? You disappeared. You're not part of the staff anymore.
Yeah. So that was interesting. The specific sort of, like, tone choice for that scene I thought was interesting. So, yeah. Which now also makes me wonder, sort of like, and I'm sure this will probably, well, they'll probably this at least be sort of, kind of tangentially answered as we go forward. But I do wonder if, like, you know, how far after, because again, Scarlet Witch was snapped, so basically, how far after that did like this start to happen, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Was this something that's like sort of just happened immediately? Because maybe that would sort of explain the whole thing about like the universe kind of doing this itself in a sense. But I we don't know, so I guess that might kind of be answered.
It must have been okay. So the beginning takes place in the middle, well, near the end of Endgame, where they got snapped back by Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Scarlet Witch came back to fight.
Oh right.
Yeah.
But then I guess she disappeared sometime after Tony's funeral.
Okay, yeah, never mind. I was thinking, so it wouldn't be immediate then.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
She was at the funeral.
I'm also
'Cause
wondering.
I remember she talked to Bruce about, Vision being
Right.
dead.
I guess it would make sense that it wouldn't be immediate, because I think also for I wanted to say Geraldine, but I think her actual name is Monica, where
Yeah.
for her to look like it was after everything had calmed down after Thanos and stuff, because she reported back into work. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they were saying that like the person they were in contact with was lost like a few days ago or something. So okay, yeah, never mind. I'm just well, because also I remember that they specifically said that this was going to tie into the Doctor Strange sequel. So I'm wondering how that. It might just be this sense that like, oh, kind of like alternate realities can either be created or exist or something, and that concept will be carried forward, not like actual plot or something.
Are they gonna bring
But-
Doctor Strange in at some point?
I have no idea.
this would be a good way if, like, since I think Spider-Man is also supposed to appear in the Doctor Strange movie too, right?
It was
I
that
don't remember.
Doctor Strange appears in the Spider-Man movie?
Yeah.
Oh, was it the other way?
I don't remember. There's been so many random like casting
There are a
rumors
lot
and
of
shit that have happened out.
crossovers.
Yeah, I do know because I'm pretty sure. Okay, because I know. Well, the Spider-Man movie is supposed to come first, like release wise. So who knows in terms of like actual story, because they can kind of go out of order if they need to, I guess. But
all I know is that we had a prediction where we were thinking that for Spider-Man, because this is supposed to be at least the deal that Sony and Disney made, this was supposed to be the last Disney Spider-Man movie before he gets given over to Sony and
Given away.
and given Spider-Verse with Sony, that would work perfectly in terms of like this, especially when we see how WandaVision is going to.
yeah, I think also. Well, I think the deal with the sort of the final deal with Sony was that he can again the Spider-Man 3 movie will be a thing, but then also I think they said that Tom Holland could like be in some other MCU film, like how he was in Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. So I think there was like one other thing. So maybe that is the Doctor Strange sequel, or maybe they might just be saving him for something later in case whenever they want to bring him back or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, again, we could just speculate about this all day because we don't know anything about this at this point.
Yeah.
So just random guesswork. But yeah, I do think though for sort of again the first Marvel thing basically in like a year and a half. I think this is an interesting and unique place to start.
Yeah.
I think so too, yeah. What is the next thing after this, actually?
Falcon and Winter Soldier is supposed to start in March. And then Black Widow movie is supposed to be released in theaters in May, but we'll see if that actually happens. But in terms of shows after that, I know the What If animated thing is supposed to be in like the summer, I think. I think Loki's also supposed to be in like the summer. I can't remember. I'd have to go look it up again. But yeah, I know the Falcon and Winter Soldier show is March. So, so there. I don't know. It's weird to have something that that's not done yet to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't even be like, okay, we'll go watch the rest now, because
Yeah.
there is no rest
Yeah.
right now.
Well, I guess we all definitely want to continue watching it as the episodes
Yeah,
come out,
definitely.
though. So that's good.
I'm happy that I chose this. And
Yeah.
that we all voted for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you didn't choose it, I was just gonna watch it on my own as the episodes came out. So yeah. So okay, it's cool to experience this together. I mean, and if we want, we could sort of like on our own. We could still sort of because again, the episodes come up on Fridays, and we actually record these on Fridays usually. So we could just sort of like I don't know, maybe start a little earlier and just watch the new episodes as they come out together. If you want to do that,
We
but
could
that's
do that too, yeah.
we'll see. So, all right. Well, are we done talking about this then?
Yeah.
I think so,
Alright,
which is actually magic and all that stuff goes well with what Mayan has to announce, actually.
Oh yeah, so my replacement that I've waited like forever to tell you.
A month and a half. Yeah.
So I'm replacing the movie that we watched previously with Matilda, which is the Mara Wilson movie with Danny DeVito. I liked the book a lot when I was a child, and I think I've watched this movie like twice, but I got prompted to choose it for like this because I saw a very good like video essay about it. So we're gonna watch Matilda.
Yay!
This is
Get
also
the feels.
this is also a book that I like read a lot as a kid. I don't remember if I saw the movie or not.
I never read the book, but I think I watched half of the movie. I didn't finish it. I remember because I think I was watching it at someone's house and I had to go or something.
Now you can finish it whenever we watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, considering we're starting our new cycle again, we may be watching it right now.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah. Well,
All
here,
right, let us spin the
let
wheel.
us see what we get.
Let's see.
And no. Oh no. Oh, speaking of things we never finished watching, it landed on my choice of the thing that I didn't finish watching because as a 7-year-old I got scared. So we're watching Spirited Away.
Me and Maya have watched this a number of times,
Ugh.
actually, I think.
Yeah, this is a good movie. Don't worry, Valen. Please, don't worry.
No, I
Unless
know.
you have the same reaction as Wallace and Gromit.
No, that's the thing, though. Again, I know that everyone says this movie is, like, amazing, and I don't doubt that, but again, it was this one scene, like, pretty early on that basically traumatized me as, like, a 7-year-old.
I think I know what scene in
So,
particular.
yeah.
This movie is pretty scary. Like, not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
So,
It's scary.
I might have, like, a Pavlovian response. I don't know.
Maybe just don't watch that scene.
We'll find out.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Well,
There are a
can't
few
believe-
other weird scenes, though, but we'll see.
I can't believe how close it was to being Looper. It was just like a tiny
I know.
smidge.
yeah, well, whatever. We're seeing
That's how
Spirited
time
Away
passed.
next. Oh boy. I don't know. I'm gonna go hide in my own fictional reality.
Is it the Star Wars reality?
I mean, I don't know if you'd actually want to live in this Star Wars reality, considering all the fucked up shit that goes on there.
Yeah, probably not.
Ugh. Well, that's that. We will see you here next Monday. Well, I mean, not tomorrow, but like the next Monday. With Spirited Away. Hopefully I'm not traumatized again.
Goodbye.
Bye.